Bare bhag manushitana power means so fortunate we are to get a human body. Because we could have been born as anything. There are many people in the world who don't believe this. Huh? Please pay attention to belief. The nature of belief is such. Like for example, when you say, you could be born as this, you could be born as a donkey, monkey, hog, dog, frog, scorpion and centipede and a grasshopper. You could be born as anything because the number of jivas are so 84 lakh. In this same section in Uttarakhand, 8.4 million species. Could be born as one of any of them. But we are fortunate to have gotten a human birth. So some people say no, first point now. Some people say no, I don't believe that. Right? I don't believe any of that. My dear, please pay attention to this. Your belief has nothing to do with reality. Nobody on this earth, nobody's belief on this earth has anything to do with reality. You see, you do not have to believe in anything in this world for that thing to operate or act on you. That is correct or not? You say, no, I don't believe in reincarnation, so I will not be born as something else. Belief has nothing to do. I'll give you a simple example. Look here. When Christopher Columbus, that criminal fellow, who people credit with discovering the world and all lies made up and taught to you in school. Discover what world? There's so many people living here at time. And he killed so many people. When Christopher Columbus went to the king and queen of Italy, where he was born, he told them, please give me some ships. I will sail across the ocean, and whichever countries I reach and discover, those countries will belong to you, king and queen. The king and queen told, you pagal. Pagal means crazy. Because at that time in Europe, everybody used to believe that the earth was flat. And if it told him, if you sail over that ocean, when you reach on the edge there, you will fall over. You will fall over because the world, flat. Christopher Columbus is the only person believing that the earth round like a ball, spherical like a ball. He tells them, no, the earth is spherical. If I go around this side, I will come from the other side. The king and queen tell him, no, you're stupid. Not only stupid, you're crazy too. The earth flat. When you go out and you sail out there, you'll fall over. At that time in Europe, all the people used to believe that the earth is flat. So I am telling you this example to ask you this simple question. If all the people, the majority of people, 99.99% of the people believe that the earth is flat, does that make the earth flat? Does belief create reality? No. Belief has no bearing on reality. And every ancient civilization and scripture and religion pointed to this fact of reincarnation and rebirth and taking different bodies. And this idea is so intellectually compelling that today, even though the earth does not have 33% Hindus, 33% of the earth believe, and 33% of the non-Hindus believe in reincarnation. Because it's an intellectually satisfying and compelling idea. Because without this idea, there are many things you'll not be able to explain. The idea of reincarnation. There are so many things you'll not be able to explain. And you'll have to come up with foolish ideas, contradictory things to explain things in the world. But some people are very settled with those foolish contradictory things. Very much settled with that. I'll just give you a simple example. Look here. When you don't believe in reincarnation, What will happen, right? Please pay attention to this. One man came by me, some other religion. We had a little discussion. This fellow is a very educated man. 2-3 degrees and all he has. So I say, in your religion, you all don't believe in reincarnation. No, we don't believe in this reincarnation business. Okay, take it, no problem. Then, how do you explain that one child is born in Buckingham Palace and another child is born in Claxton Bay dump at the same time? Because if I ask, no, who creates children? God. Oh, so on what basis God sent one child in the Claxton Bay dump and sent another child in Buckingham Palace at the same exact time 2 children were born? On what he said. I said, why he sent one there to enjoy life and he sent one here to suffer flies sitting on his nose and eyes and from birth in the dump? He telling me now, he said, well, that is not the child's fault, that is the parents' fault. I say, so you mean to say the parent do something wrong and the child suffering for that? He said, yeah. I said, that means to say you subscribe to a rule which says one person do the crime and another person do the time. He said, yeah. It means one person do the bad action and the other one suffer the consequences of the bad action. He said, yeah, I believe that. I say, well, brother, if you believe that, well, we can have no more discussion, isn't it? Because you believe something which is totally abhorrent to the human intellect of every civilization. And your belief system escapes the realm of logic. It falls outside the realm of logic. So that I speaking from a logical standpoint and you speaking from a belief standpoint. So how can we have discussion? We can't. The next thing you will tell me, well, it have Ravan living behind that wall. Ravan living behind that wall, right? And I tell you, no, it's not Ravan behind that wall. Because logical, all the people of number 5 have been here for years and they never see Ravan behind that wall. That's the logic I use in. You say, no, I believe in Ravan behind that wall. Now, could we have discussion? Because if you believe something, well, you believe nobody could do anything. But if you believe it had Ravan behind that wall, that doesn't bring Ravan behind that wall. You could believe whatever you want. Every tradition of all civilizations, all scriptures, and every time has had this idea. Greek civilization, ancient Greek civilization also had this whole idea of reincarnation. And those who are the seers, Trikala, those who can see beyond, those whose vision extends beyond the realm of what we see here, those people have seen all the secrets of this world. And therefore, Lord himself, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, is speaking in Bhagavad Gita about reincarnation everywhere. Tulsidas is throughout this Ramayana. And so, in this birth, we all have a human, now come to the verse. In this birth, we have a human body. In any birth, we could have any kind of body. So, Tulsidas is in. Bhagavan Ram is telling to the people of Ayodhya, Bare bhag manushatan pava. So fortunate you are. Why is it bare bhag? If you will only be born as human being, then no bhag. If you will be born only as human being every time, but then you're not fortunate. What fortunate? Because there's 8.4 million species and the human birth is such a rare thing, then bare bhaga. So fortunate we are to be born as a human being. But why? Now, he says, this is a covetable body, human body. Suradullabha Sabhagranthan hi gava. The scriptures say, even the gods cannot get a body like this. The gods also crave a body like this, human body. But in the second line, it tells why. It's not just that you're so fortunate. See, when you say, oh, you're so fortunate you win the lottery. People say, you're so fortunate you win the lottery. But you don't know, wealth might destroy his life, which is quite often the case. The wealth destroys his life. He was living a very good life until he win the lottery. So, if you get a human birth, why is it good? You're so fortunate to get a human birth. He says, sadhanatham mochakaradvara. Because the human body affords us the opportunity to do spiritual practice. It's called sadhana. Some spiritual practice. Because in an animal body and in a devata's body, see, the animal body is lower beneath and devata's body is higher up in Swarga and all. These two bodies, very difficult to do sadhana. Very difficult. You know why? Because devatas, they are too occupied with enjoyment. People go to Swarga, Indralok, Swarga and all, they go to enjoy only, to enjoy the result of all good things they have done in this world. So now you tell me, where a person is enjoying, like for example, you see how people come out on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, right? Do they come out to pray or they come out to enjoy? Suppose in the middle of Juve, you go there, tell all of them, okay boys, sit down here, let me have a little satsang. In the middle of Juve. Yeah. They will say, look, Juve, you move there. Juve, satsang, you get lost from here, isn't it? Kabir Raji says, Sukh mein, dukh mein, sumiran sab kare. Sukh mein kare, na koi. Means in this world, when people are having joy, enjoyment and celebration and jubilation and jumping and all that kind of thing, right? That time nobody thinks about God. So, in Swarga, where they are enjoying all the time, they don't think, only when they get in trouble, now they run to Bhagwan. Oh, Prabhu, please do something. But they are only enjoying. So they don't have no time for sadhana, spiritual practice, this, that, nothing. Huh? Durvasa Muni also goes there. Muni, Rishi goes here. He sees Indra. Indra, oh, namaste Durvasa Muni ji. Indra is riding on his elephant. He's the king. A great, great sage who is an intergalactic globetrotter. Durvasa Muni who could go from place to place. He comes and Indra doesn't even come down from his elephant. He doesn't care for saints, say this, that, nothing. Only when they get in trouble, they go to Bhagwan for something. Durvasa Muni got a nice mala from Rambha, somewhere he was passing. And he took this mala and he gave it to Indra. Indra, he takes the mala like that and he throws it on the Tuscany elephant. Durvasa Muni get blue angry. Now, I just telling you this story for this thing to tell you that in Swarga, even though they are living in a higher world, it is a world of enjoyment. It is a world of no regard for Muni, Rishi, sage, this, that, and nothing. And they have regard for Bhagwan only when they get in trouble. They have no time to go to Bhagwan and think. And now, that is the higher world. Animal world down below, right? But that would be a nice thing if you see your dog get up every morning and do your arati. The morning time your dog get up and he's doing arati and you set up a little shank in front of your temple, you go come and you go blow foo, foo, foo inside the shank. Your dog could do. The animal kingdom cannot do sadhana, spiritual practice, isn't it? So the higher world, they enjoy and engage in bhog. They call bhog. Bhog means enjoyment only. The lower world, they engage in ignorance. Where the dog doesn't know. Like for example, did just leave the dog in the ashram. He doesn't know where we went. We could have gone abroad, we could have gone to Bayakpur, we could have gone, but he doesn't know. Ignorance they live in. And they also don't have the opportunity to do sadhana, spiritual practice, the animal kingdom. They can do practice. And no matter how much spiritual practice, no matter how much you train him also, he can't do. You think, nah. So, bare bhaga manushya power. The human being can do sadhana. We can be trained from childhood. And that people don't do that also. So he says, we waste this lifetime. This Bhagavan is telling to the people. Paina jai paraloka sawara. Paina jehi paraloka sawara ends in the doha which follows it. That in this lifetime, that person wastes the lifetime. Because one opportunity we get. Swami Raghavananda was telling nice thing about this. See this, I'll tell you. He said, there's a blind man in a cave. Right? And that cave is never ending this side and never ending this side. Because he's inside and blind. And it only have one door somewhere on the wall of that cave. And the cave never ending this side, never ending this side. One door on that key in that cave to come out. So what he doing? He feeling on the wall to see if you feel that door. And he feeling for years and years and years. And he walking along and feeling like that to find the door. And after many years, when he came to the door, that time he get an itch. He pull his hand and start to itch, and he passed the door. What is his chance of coming out from that? Okay, so that is our chance, which we got through this human body. And the human beings come, and we don't use that chance. We go on only in all worldly things, one after the next. Sadhana dham, it's a home to do sadhana, this human body. That's so rare is this chance. When Bhagavan says, bare bhag, so fortunate we are. He means to say, it is such a rare thing to get this human birth. So, now that we have gotten it, we have to use to do sadhana. Sadhana means what? Sadhana means, and Hinduism is the best religion for sadhana. And you know why? Because in any other religion you belong, right? Everybody has to do the same thing. Everybody has to do the same thing. Have you seen people in other religions? Everybody, they have to do something uniform. All have to do the exact same thing. There is no such thing in Hinduism. Hinduism is buffet style. Buffet style, you know? Buffet style means all the food line up here. You pass down the line, whichever food you like, you. That's why when they feed you on the table here, you go see later, and people pass in. Chana? No, I want no chana. Go take your chana and go. You hear that, no? You have a choice. You can't, hey, shut your mouth and eat the chana. Anybody ever tell you? If anybody tell you in any prayers, you are going back there? Shut your mouth and eat the chana. I tell you, and if you like that thing, you just have to say, chana and aloo, oh, chalu and ana. Anything you tell them, they bring it. So, it is freedom of choice. We have an array of sadhanas. From here till never ending. All type of sadhanas. And you can choose whatever you like. And there is no such thing in Hinduism. Everybody has to do the same thing. And everybody has to read the same book also. In school, everybody has read the same book. No, you go to the preschool, they're reading some other color book. A for apple, and you see apple, a picture of an apple there. You go in university, you see picture of apple. High school and O levels and A levels, and what are you seeing? Nothing. From preschool to university, everybody using a different book. Correct or not? So we understand that the world is made up of a variety of individuals and people. And everybody have different likes and dislikes and all that. So there's a variety of sadhanas, a variety of scriptures, variety of gurus and teachings and all. But in the end, Like, just like, for example, if you have to go to Port of Spain from here, well, look here, you head down this way to number 2, right? And you head down that way, Rochard Road, and you go to Clark Road, and you go to Pinal, and then you go down that road, you will reach Port of Spain, isn't it? Or when you go to number 2, then you make a right turn. You go to Barakpur. By the police station, there you go to left. Then you will reach Port of Spain. Or you go straight, you go to Princestown, and again you go to Port of Spain. Or from here you come out, you make a left here instead, and you go up Maruga side. You go up Matilda and Ring. Different route. You go to Rio Claro and go Grande and go from the other side. You could do or not? You could suppose you like the scenic route. Well, you go Manzan. Who will stop you? Nobody can stop. Hinduism like that. Freedom. You can't say, no, you be quiet, you follow this route. No. Because why? Everybody following this road. Well, what did you think? Absolute freedom is there. So sadhana is all this array of spiritual practices. You have a whole limitless number of them. And I will tell you, I tell you few names. You hear about karma yoga, you hear about bhakti yoga, you hear about Jnana Yoga, you hear about Ashtanga Yoga, Raj Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Japa Yoga, Yagna, Puja, Swadhyaya, self-study. And anything you want to do, you follow. Tulsidas spends, for those of you who study Ramayana, you will see in the beginning of Balakanda, he spends verses upon verses upon verses to describe the greatness and the glory of the name of Rama. And this he has gotten from Bhagavatam. Last night I told you, no? In the Bhagavatam it says, in this Kali Yuga, there is no better sadhana than to chant the name of Ram. Go on chanting the name of Ram means whichever form of God you like. You don't like God. Just today we were chanting Vishnu, Bhagwan Vishnu's name. Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Like Narad. Narayan, 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 everywhere he goes. Take some name of the Lord and go on chanting that name. There is no better sadhana in this age in which we live. You know, in different ages, different things work. You know that. There are many. See, like for example, in the old days, bicycle used to work well. That was the bicycle age. You could take your bicycle and ride down this main road here now. You try. Then you're going to know. Then you're going to know we standard language. Then you're going to know. One blind fella beat up a man. And they took the blind fella before the judge. So the judge asking the blind man, he said, you beat that man? The blind fella said, yeah, I beat him up. He said, why you beat him up? He said, well, he tell me, hit me and you go see. Hare Rama. But you have to be a Trini to understand that, you know. Hit me and you go see. That's Trini language. So anyway, I'm telling you about, now Tulsidas ji has spent so many verses to write on the greatness and glory of the name of God. And in the second line which we chanted there, the first line says, in this Kali Yuga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, all of these things, these are all different types of sadhana. But you're most welcome also. Follow any sadhana. Which is the best thing which will work in this Kali Yuga? Ram Nam. The name of Ram. And he's following the teaching of Bhagavatam. Kalau nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyatha. Harer Nama. The name of Hari. In the Bhagavatam it says. So, Tulsidas ji follows the Bhagavatam very closely in telling that this sadhana is the best. Today, the nature of the world is such that the name of Ram will help the most. Because people are too busy with too many other things, you know. And it's a sadhana that is applicable everywhere. You could chant, you see, if you have to do puja, you could do puja on the bus. Do puja in the taxi when you're traveling in the morning. You carry there your bell and shank and everything inside the taxi, you know. Your Hawan Kund. Carry your Hawan Kund inside the taxi and you do there. Oh, in Draya Swaha, Idan Mama. You smoke out the taxi driver and all the passengers and everybody inside there. You can't, but you could chant the name of Ram inside the taxi or not? You see? So he said, for this age, the best sadhana is the name of Ram. You could do any time, any place. You get up, suppose, you know, in the middle of the night, sometimes you get up and you can't sleep. Like when you see a ghost by the window and all. Many people don't go funeral for that because they say, me, I go to a funeral. And many people tell me that. I ain't going to a funeral, Swamiji. I don't want to go to a funeral. Why you don't go to a funeral? Because when I come home in the night, I just see the dead man there. They're scared because when they come home at night, they'll see the dead man in their room. And some people play brave. Some people play brave. Look here. When you see somebody die and you go there, right? Everybody get brave and they go in by that dead, some of them hugging up the dead body and all kind of things. In the night time, that same person, if he's sleeping and he see that dead man next to him and he's sleeping there, then you will see how much he be brave. So anyway, no. I'm telling that the Kali Yuga, what applies the most and what is best in this Kali Yuga is the name of God. And this is the age for that thing. And the scriptures tell, go on chanting. Now, second thing, any name is fine. You would not like this name, you like that name, so no problem. That is second point, right? First point is, in this, the name of God is the best sadhana for this time. Related to that point, please remember, if you don't like the name of God, no problem. You choose some other sadhana. You have a million other. Right? Do Havan and do puja, do study of Bhagavad Gita, do chanting, do stuti, do any Hanuman Chalisa, whatever you want to do. But the name of God is the most applicable for this age. So, second thing related to that, any name of God. You choose whatever you have. So many names are there now. Third thing, how this name works, I will tell you. But before I tell you, what about if we chant the name a little bit? Now, see, if I tell you, you're only listening. But if we chant, that means you're practicing at the same time, isn't it? So we'll chant the name of God before I tell you how the name of God works. I'm telling you about the sadhana. Tulsidas and Bhagwan Ram is telling sadhana. So today's sadhana is the name of God. And we'll see how it works just now. But first, let us chant this thing a little bit. We'll see. Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Sita Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Sita Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Sita Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Bo.
Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Sita Ram, Ram Ram.
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 Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Sita Ram, Ram
Ramachandra ki jai. I want to tell you how the name of Rama works, or the name of the Lord. See, one child was asking me in the Bal Vihar child, Swamiji, what did the carpet say to the floor? I said, I don't know what the carpet said to the floor. The carpet said, don't worry, I have you covered. I have you covered. But the carpet being on the floor, the carpet absorbs all the dust of the floor, correct or not? And after a little while, the carpet becomes saturated with dust. So what you do, you take the carpet outside there, and you hold it up like this, and you shake it, right? Or you hold it up and you tell somebody with a stick, now you beat. You beat the carpet. And they beat out all the dust, right? So the shaking or the beating, what it causes the vibration on the carpet. When it vibrates properly, all the dust will be gone. Well, all the worldly things in this world, all materialistic, evil things in this world, they catch on to our mind very easily. Now let me just ask you something. Do you have to make an effort to put dust in the carpet? Anybody comes purposely and make effort to put dust on the carpet? No, you just leave him there for some time. And after a little while, he will very nicely collect all the dust, very religiously. You just have to leave. Nobody has to make effort. Well, the human mind is the same thing. You just tell. Please pay attention to this. Suppose all of we get together and we build this temple and we leave it. We don't come back here. We just build it and we leave it for 10 years and we come back. The temple will be free from dust, or the temple will collect dust? Anybody has to make effort to put dust? No. You come back after 10 years, it's really full with dust. By itself, anything that is left unattended is subject to the law of entropy. It means that thing will, by itself, naturally deteriorate, and an inherent decadence will step in, take place, or manifest. That thing slowly. You think the temple will not get better by itself. It will get worse and worse. The human mind is the same thing. So therefore, if from childhood somebody is not teaching us spirituality and teaching us values and teaching us good things, teaching us all the proper behavior and etiquette and discipline and all the other things, if somebody is not teaching that, that child will get better or get worse. That is what has happened to Trinidad and Tobago. Because people are bringing children into the world and they are not grooming the children properly, not teaching values, not teaching spirituality, not teaching etiquette, not teaching discipline, not teaching proper behavior. They are not teaching anything to the children. And the child turned out to be a monster, then you bring him Chinmaya Vidyalaya. Swamiji, talk to the child. Parents abdicating their duty everywhere and not taking care of the children that they bring into the world, and expect the whole community, the police, the government, everything to do something about them. You create a nation of criminals, and now you want the police to do something. The human beings, the parents, create criminals. And now they're blaming the police. Police are doing nothing. You were not doing anything as a parent. When the child was born, he was not a criminal. Like that, the natural decadence steps into the mind of a child, and it doesn't get better. It gets worse. Because he's subject to the law of entropy. The law of entropy says everything in the world gets worse and worse and worse and decays and decays and... No. The same way, you leave the carpet there for some time, you don't have to make any effort for the carpet to uh, gather dust. You leave the human mind in this world and you don't treat it with spirituality and treat it with values and treat it with etiquette and discipline and proper behavior and teachings of the Shastras and spirituality. You don't treat the mind with all of that. You just leave the mind to this world. This mind will gather all the wrong things, not right things. All the wrong things, all the durgunas, got evil, negative traits, all sorts of bad characteristics, everything. It will go on absorbing. And the name of the Lord is like this. It makes that mind vibrate at the right frequency so as to shake off. Like when we shake off the carpet, the carpet vibrates at the right frequency to shake off the dust. The name of the Lord and the mantras of the Shastras and all are designed to bring the correct resonance to the mind so as to shake off negative traits and tendencies. And if while we chanting the name of the Lord, we clap also, the vibration go more. So it's good to clap also. Some Sant Mahatma log, they say, when you clap, we clap out all the pap, all the sins. When we clap out all the sins. And when we clap out all the sins, where do the sins go? In the heart of those people who are not clapping. And if we don't clap out the sins, where we will go? We will go to Narak. Narak, you know? Narak means hell. There is hell and heaven, and you better don't doubt it. One man, he had an operation in the hospital. And they have given him anesthesia. After that, they know nothing. Anesthetic and all, they know nothing. So he had just had operation, and he lying down on the bed. And after a few hours, then the eye does open. So he eye open after the operation and all. When he eye open, there was a window right next to the bed. He see the blinds shut. So he shout out to the doctor, "Why you shut this blind?" The doctor said, "Well, it have a raging fire next door, and I didn't want you to wake up and think you didn't make it, you know. You didn't make it. Because when you see fire next door, you think you reach hell. You didn't live through the operation." Anyway, so when we do pap, we go to hell. But he says, the most perfect sadhana for this age is the name of God. That brings the right resonance and vibration to the mind, which shakes off all the negative traits and all the agitation and worries and all the things that are there in the mind. The name of God has the power to shake out all of this. But people don't want to do. You see, human beings are what? Human beings are the most peculiar characters. They don't want to do the action, but they want the result. Isn't it? Especially Trini people. Trini people don't want to work, but they want pay. You go and strike. Go by the roundabout and take a placard and walk about. And they want pay. And strike. Don't work, but want pay. No. That's what people suffer like anything. Karma for that is real bad. The result of such a thing is real bad, you know. You just live a simple life and don't get into all of this complex and convoluted politics. You work a simple day's work for a simple day's pay. That's the rule. All the convoluted thing, you don't get into that. That's all convoluted politics. You don't understand that you are born in a world where that is fed into your head. So now, this sadhana, Ram, Nam, Tulsidaji, stresses. Now, beside that sadhana, there are so many other sadhanas you can do, spiritual practices. You just make your choice and go. There's japa. So I'm telling you the ones in this age which are most powerful. After Ram and Nam, you chant anytime, anyway. Japa, you get a mala and you go on chanting with a japa mala. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram. Whichever name you like, you go on chanting. So it's called japa. in today's world also, it is a highly intellectual world. People are becoming more and more educated, more and more read. And so, Swadhyaya is also a very, very wonderful sadhana. Swadhyaya means self-study. Self-study means what? You get the Gita, get the Ramayana, and every day you study one or two verses. Swadhyaya. It's an intellectual world. Everybody's educated now, isn't it? You get everything in English. You go online, people have it on their handheld devices and all. You could read Gita, Ramayana, everything. All kind of wonderful things. It says, nowadays, I see somebody buy me an alarm clock. Somebody buy me an alarm clock. That thing, you don't even have to get up from the bed to watch the time. That thing flashing the time on the ceiling. It has so much high-tech people these days. You make something like that to flash your Gita verse on the ceiling, just lie down there and do it. If the clock could flash the time on the ceiling, why you can't flash a Gita verse or something on the ceiling? You could do. You see? Every day I discover some new thing, And when I see the thing on the ceiling, the time on the ceiling, I say, it's high time. It's high time that somebody invent a clock like that. What is it? Kya baat hai? That's literally high time. Anyway, look here. You take one or two verses, it's called Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means you study the scriptures. A modern age we're living in. It's so easy to study scriptures and all. There's another type of sadhana. So now, we are just telling one or two types of sadhanas. The scripture is full of all types of sadhanas. Go on doing. Now, our Bhagavad Gita class in the ashram, we have read chapter 4. There Bhagavan talks about so many different types of yagnas. And a yagna doesn't have to be something you're offering in the fire or this type of yagna. Look here. If you offering your seva to the community, that is like you're offering something into the fire. If you're offering your seva to the community, that also is a yagna. So all types of sadhana, you go and do some seva. Come in the temple here and paint the wall, man. Call Papoy and Kishore and I want to do some seva in the temple. They'll tell you what to do. The sadhana. Seva is a type of sadhana. So you might not like to do japa, like to do this, but you could go and do some seva. So find your type of sadhana and say sadhana dham, in this human body only we can do sadhana. We cannot do sadhana. The devatas don't do sadhana, the animal kingdom below, they also don't do sadhana. Sadhana dham mochakara dwara paina jahi para loka savara. And the person who gets this human body and doesn't do it, that last part of the verse tells that person is mahamurkha. Mahamurkha means great big fool. He has wasted a great opportunity. I really and truly, one day I met a fellow in Kathmandu, Nepal. Kathmandu, Nepal is the next country bordering India. So I asked him in Hindi, "Kahan se aa rahe bhaiya? Where are you coming from?" He said, "मैं आगरा से आ रहा हूँ. I'm coming from Agra." He's coming from Agra, in India. Oh, Agra. अरे वाह, बड़ी बात है. ताजमहल को देखा? You saw Taj Mahal? He said, no. People from the whole globe go to Agra to see Taj Mahal. He went to Agra, where the wonder of the world, Taj Mahal, is there. And I asked, you saw Taj Mahal? He said, no. But if you go to the place, one and only place on the earth, that city where Taj Mahal is there, and you don't see Taj Mahal, the way you went there for, that's a silly thing, isn't it? That is like, you go to, there's a city called Niagara Falls. There's a city called Niagara Falls. In that city of Niagara Falls, there's the falls called Niagara Falls. You go to the city, and you go in your hotel room, and you sleep one night, and you eat food, and come back home. And you did not see Niagara Falls. We get this human birth, one human birth, And we come here, and what we do? Eat, drink, and be merry. Forget about moksha. Moksha means enlightenment, liberation, salvation, this. Moksha. So if this one birth we get and we don't do it, then we have missed the entire thing. Now, let us see, Bhagavan tells. In this very famous verse which we chanted earlier. Ram ek tapas kiya tari,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Ram ko dikhal kumati sudhari.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Binu sat sang
Vivek na hoi.
Shri Ram Jai Ram
Jai Jai Ram. Ram Kripa binu sulabh na soi. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
sat sangat mud mangal moola.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Soi phal siddhi sab sadhan
Bhula. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Raghuram,
Jai Raghuram.
Jai Sita
Ram. Jai Sita Ram.
Ram ek tapas tari. Tulsidaji gives an example. I told you about it last night already, and I just told you the example very fast. He says, the name of Ram is such that it has purified countless millions of sadhakas, spiritual aspirants and seekers and travelers of this world. While Ram himself, this comes in the context of Balkand, where it says, the name of Ram, Ramana Sakahi Nama Gunagai, it says. Ram also cannot tell the greatness of his name. His name supersedes him also. Because he comes once in a while, but his name is always there. So he says here, he gives moksha to one person, Ahalya. But his name has given moksha to countless. You see? So, Rama ek tapas tiyatari. Tiyatari means he crossed over the wife of Tapasya, means the wife of Gautam Rishi, who is Ahalya. Like that. And then the next line is very famous. Binu satsanga vivek na hoi, Ram kripa binu sulabh na soi. Without satsang, in Trinidad language, I told you that before, na? Binu satsanga vivek na hoi. Discriminative intellect will never arise in a person without satsang. In satsang only we'll learn how to discriminate properly about this world, because we are born into a world of delusion. All around us is delusion only. Yeah, and that is how things are taught. Like, for example, I just gave you an example in the beginning. When we all went to school, we all glorified Christopher Columbus or not? Huh? If you see the history of the atrocities committed by that man, your stomach will turn. Your stomach will turn. But you see, you're born in a world of delusion, and there's a system of education put in place by a political machinery that has had an ultimate desire. And that political machinery, with its ultimate purpose, put that education system in place, and the intention was to indoctrinate all of our minds. And our minds are indoctrinated with all sorts of garbage. So much so that we glorify a criminal of global proportion. But then we didn't know better, isn't it? We didn't know better. So, since we are born in that type of world, From birth, we are indoctrinated with all sorts of delusory things. And therefore, Tulsidas is telling in this verse, Binu satasanga, vivek na hoi. That type of delusion will never ever go away as long as we belong to that world where delusion is part of the system into which we are born. That type of delusion will only go away when we attend satsang. You see? The easiest way to say that in Trinidad language, that if you do go satsang, you will always be stupid. That is simple training language or not? You will always remain stupid, and believe it, you better believe that thing. Because you tell me something, in today's world, goodness and spirituality and peace of mind and tranquility and balance and equipoise and equilibrium and all of these great qualities which are spoken about in the Shastras, you could get any of that in universities? We have big world-class universities which are called as prestigious institutions. And all the things which I just talked about, you could get any of that in any one of them? That means what? Where you'll get it? In satsang only. You will learn about values and goodness and tranquility and peace and balance of mind and equality, egalitarianism and ekatvam, the oneness of the universe, and the all-encompassing nature of the reality, embracing all things in the nature, and learn about environmental protection and all such things. You don't learn these things in university. Even if it is environmental protection or anything today, or somebody somewhere at the end of that chain have some selfish interests. Why do you think people are selling organic food and gluten-free food and vegan food? You think they care about your health? Nari bhaiya. They care about making money, and that is the trend going in that way. So we have to keep up with the trend. People buying gluten-free things. We better get into that business fast, because more and more people buying gluten-free. So we are born into that type of world, and Tulsidas ji telling, my dear, the only way we will come out of that type of world that is characterized by pure delusion is when we attend satsang, when we find ourselves in satsang. Binu satsanga vivek na hoi. I say Ram kripa binu sulabh na soi. And satsang is not also easy to get unless we have the kripa of Ram. And then we get the kripa of Ram. Kripa of Ram will shine upon all of us when we go on chanting his name, become a beloved of Ram. We love Ram, love the Lord. We love every other thing in this world except Ram. Satasangata muda mangala mula soi phala siddhi savasadana phula. Satsanga is the very mangala mula. Muda and mangala mula. In satsang, we'll get joy and auspiciousness, goodness. Actually, the best thing is, in satsang first, you will get joy. We should all the time, you can't go from when you go home from satsang, right? The curve on your face can't be down. The curve on your face have to go up. After you go home from satsang, your face drop. In satsang, you're supposed to be smiling. You see, throughout this Ramayana, Bhagwan laughing like anything. The Lord himself laughing. In Bhagavad Gita, in the middle of the battlefield, Krishna laughing. Prasanniva Bharata. Prahasan. Hasan means laughing. So, the human being has to keep happy. And satsang, when you come, please remain happy. If you come in satsang and you're feeling miserable, that means something wrong. That is why I see sometimes we tell a little joke, so you get a little. You laugh a little bit. You know, human beings are the only ones who could laugh, you know. Dogs cannot laugh. Cows cannot laugh. Parrots cannot laugh. A parrot could imitate a laugh, but the parrot cannot laugh. You think the parrot catch the joke and laugh? You think the parrot catch the joke? No, 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 no. Parrot catch no joke and all. One magician used to be on a ship with a parrot. A magician is to have a parrot on his shoulder and is to do tricks on a ship, a cruise ship. So, before the magician could do his trick, the parrot used to sell him out. The parrot used to say, "Awk, awk." He have it under his sleeve. "Awk, awk." He have it in his back pocket. "Awk, awk." He have it under a hat. The parrot is to go on selling out the magician. So one day, the ship engineer was fixing something down in the engine room, and there was some diesel fuel hanging about, and something happened there, and there was a big explosion. And the ship blew to smithereens. And the parrot still sitting on the shoulder of the magician, and the magician holding on to a log, and two of them floating in the ocean now. And 2-3 days passed, no food, no water. And he holding on to the log like this, and the parrot on the shoulder. After 4 days passed, the parrot go, all right, I give up. What you do with the ship? He thought the magician did something, and he had know this trick. First time I didn't know one of your tricks. But the parrot doesn't know anything which is going on. He will imitate this and imitate that and imitate the other thing. So the laughing is reserved for human beings. And if you don't laugh, let me tell you something. All the spiritual people that I have met throughout this world, they are such wonderful laughers. When I met the Dalai Lama on 2 occasions. Dalai Lama, you know? Man, I could not help but see the hearty laugh of the Dalai Lama, or our Puja Gurudev, our Guruji, all saints and sages that you meet. They laugh from the bottom of their heart, because the nature of the Atman is Satchitananda. Ananda means bliss. And if you have a spiritual person and he miserable all the time, well, that fellow is not spiritual even in the slightest. A spiritual person cannot be miserable. He has to be all the time joyous and happy, because he is in touch with the core of his being, which is the nature of Ananda. It's of the nature of Ananda. So it says from satsang, muda. Modayati means he rejoices. In satsang you will get joy. If any satsang you go and you're not getting joy, something wrong, Satsangata muda mangala mula. And is the root, satsang is the root of all mangala, means auspiciousness. When you come to satsang, we hear auspicious things, good things, wonderful things, things that will lift your life, not. In other words, you take the things from the satsang and lift your life. Mangala, auspicious things. Soi phala siddhi sava sadhana phula. And satsang, it says, is the result of all the spiritual things that we do, the spiritual sadhanas and all. When we do, we will get the opportunity to have satsang. When we get satsang, we will get vivek, proper understanding, discriminative intellect and understanding.